the Alternative Corner, where we will follow topics of interest other than boxing. At October Red, we always want to engage with our listeners and accommodate what our viewers want to listen to. Feedback is essential. Feel free to tell us yours. Listen in to episode 10, where we discuss UK rapper Ghetts, real name Justin Clarke-Samuel, having been charged in connection with a fatal hit and run in Ilford, London. The case is expected to move to Crown Court, as charges may be upgraded to causing death by dangerous driving.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night wherever you are. I'm Abs of October Red and we're back on the Alternative Corner. Sorry if I sound a little bit hoarse this morning. A bit chilly out and I think I might be coming down with something. I hope you're all well and thank you to all of you that have commented on the content that I put out yesterday from the press conference of Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. Probably do a review on that later. We'll see. But today I wanted to talk about something that I saw on Twitter, got sent in WhatsApp, and it's about Ghetts basically. Or his real name, Justin Clarke-Samuel. And first of all, I'd like to say condolences to the young person, I believe it was a 20-year-old that lost their life after being run over in what is being reported as a hit and run. So it's kind of shaken both the music world and the wider public. A fatal hit and run in East London has placed one of the most UK's respected music artists at the centre of a serious criminal case. Today, as you know, what we do on the Alternative Corner, we'll break down what happened, we'll look at the legal weight behind the charges and what this means moving forward for the victim's family, the justice system, and for Ghetts himself. Many in the UK music scene know him as Ghetts, a pioneer in British grime, known for his razor-sharp lyricism, complex wordplay and powerful storytelling. And that is one thing that I do think is a dying art. Maybe not in British rap, because we still tend to tell stories, which I like. But he was part of that. Obviously, I said his real name's Justin, but over the years, he's gone from like the underground to like mainstream, and sort of like becoming a symbol in the rap game, the UK rap game, UK grime game. I know there's a bit of a convo of what is what. You can let me know. I'm too old for this. Also got into acting as well. Supercell, I loved his character in that. It's weird, you know, because his character in that, he was in jail for a bit, then he come out. But obviously, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Supercell, he was one of these kind of like superpower soldiers, but he was on the bad side. Really, honestly, if you haven't watched Supercell, watch it. It's really good. So he'd even converted into acting, which was brilliant. It was like, yep, okay. Really enjoyed the series. I think I watched them back to back. I was like, yeah, it's been announced that they're doing season 2. Then boom, this happens. But like I said, you cannot take away, and this is the thing, because if you take away the names of the stars, and it was literally somebody, you know, hit and run, you know, person lost their life due to the hit and run, there'd be public outrage. But sometimes, and it's hypocritical, and we all do it to some extent, we find time to think, nah, gosh, I'm angry, but I can't really be angry because I respect that person. Do you understand? Because they've had an impact on you. With me, I'd say with Ghetts is acting, because that's when I really started looking at who he was. But you can't take away the fact that somebody has lost their life. All right. So we're going to go on what's been reported. All right. I always say this. Because remember, we've been waffling on about the anonymity of suspects bill, which I reckon some people wish they had that right now. So we'll go into the details, what's been reported by several tabloid mainstream newspapers. So the evening of the 18th of October, Ilford, East London, a collision occurred on Redbridge Lane East. A vehicle alleged to be driven by Ghetts struck a 20-year-old man. According to reports, the driver failed to stop at the scene. Emergency services arrived shortly after. The victim was rushed to hospital, but sadly he died later that day. So within 24 hours, Ghetts appeared before magistrates' court, charged with causing serious injury by dangerous driving. However, following the victim's death, police confirmed that the charge is expected to be upgraded to causing death by dangerous driving, one of the most serious offences under UK traffic law. And we talk about traffic law. So it started off causing serious injury by dangerous driving. So that's one offence. So I take it they wasn't sure. I think that might have been what he was arrested for, because maybe the victim hadn't yet died. So that was an emergency, slap that on quickly, and then obviously it will be upgraded after that person's died. So you don't just get done for causing death by dangerous driving, you're also breaching your insurance, breaching your license, failing to stop. There's probably about 6 or 7 other charges that will piggyback under the key charge. So we talk about legalities, because that's something that I think we all need to understand, and that's why I try and break the legalities down the best that I can. So what it means legally, causing death by dangerous driving, and this is first and foremost, this is how serious it is, carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. To secure a conviction, prosecutors must prove that the driving fell far below the standard expected of a competent and careful driver, and that it caused fatality. Okay, so that's all they've got to prove. With traffic, traffic law, there's not really a grey area. It's either you did or you didn't. You may have mitigation. Say, for example, I was rushing to an emergency. One of my family members was being attacked and they were phoning me screaming for help. However, it doesn't negate what happens. It potentially mitigates why you were driving, why you didn't stop. Not making excuses, I'm just saying. But traffic law is very, very black and white. But the bad thing is here is failing to stop. So listen, if you hit a pothole, and I'm telling you, a person has a lot more of an impact on your car than a pothole. So there's no real reason not to stop. Unless you're driving whilst disqualified, you're over the limit with alcohol, it's initial panic, fear, or you're on some kind of narcotic. Okay? So in addition to failing to stop and failing to report, which is also an offence under UK traffic law, it's itself a criminal offence under section 170 of the Road Traffic Act 1988, and this can add additional years to a sentence and weigh heavily against the defendant during the trial. So far, Justin's been remanded in custody, meaning he's currently being held while the investigation continues. His next court appearance is scheduled at Barkingside Magistrates Court on the 27th of October, so that's Monday. That's a rapid turnaround. That will probably be magistrates. Yeah, sorry, I've just said that. Magistrates, and it's potentially for him to enter a plea at that stage, or try and put in an application for bail, because they'll be building this case and it takes a long time. What concerns me is why he's been remanded. There's only certain reasons why you'll be remanded, and it's if you're going to go on the run, you're like a flight risk, an escape risk. You're potentially going to self-harm. They're worried about potential damage, hurt to the victim's family, etc., etc. So to remand him so early into custody raises an eyebrow, because theoretically, and whether you agree with it or not, he could be released on bail until the court dates. So we keep, with strict bail conditions, like some people have. Don't go here, don't go there. If you think about the case with Michael Ward, he has been bailed. He's been charged, just like Ghetts has, but he's not remanded. Yeah, I understand that this is a death. It's a very severe case. This carries life imprisonment. So there must be reasons. Obviously, I can't see any bail application remand application to see why he's been kept indoors until Monday. Maybe he'll get bail. I think Monday, the 27th of October, he might get bail then, until obviously the case goes to trial, because I'm presuming that he's not going to plead guilty and he's going to try and go to trial. They've got a lot of work to do in the investigation. That could take a long time. So him being remanded, they've got to really justify why, at the taxpayer's expense, they're going to keep him in jail until potential trial. So when you think about this, then you know what the UK is like. It has got CCTV everywhere. You can't go 500 yards without seeing some kind of camera. So there'll be CCTV, depending on the time, the amount of witnesses that they could get, wherever he was before it happened. Was he coming from somewhere? Their door's going to be getting knocked on as well, because they're going to see if they can get some witnesses to either back up, say that he had been drinking, he was intoxicated, or he was on any other substance. And this is all of the investigation. This is what the police are going to be trying to do to build the case of causing death by dangerous driving, failed to stop, and like I said, was the reasons. Did he provide a positive breath test? Because it looks like they got him, he might have failed to stop, but was the car registered to him? Because all of this stuff is the reason why he's in custody so quick. Was the CCTV that was able to look at real time and find out where he went to go and pick him up. So you got to look at all of this. They're going to have to do reconstruction to judge the speed of the vehicle. They will, and forgive me for this, and please don't take offense, they will check and see if the gentleman was also intoxicated. Did he just walk out in front of a car? Yeah. Was it a strange time of the morning? They'll do all that tests as well on the victim, on the deceased. So a lot will go into this. It's not straightforward, because say, for example, and I'm not saying this is the case, but I'm just looking at all scenarios. Say, for example, the victim may have been intoxicated. Did they just walk out in the road? I know plenty of us, and I don't know the time of night. This is what I'm saying. There's so many details missing. But I know that sometimes, after a party, I might have walked home and I might have been slightly intoxicated and really not paying attention. Looking back now, because hindsight's a wonderful thing, thinking about it now, terrible things could have happened to me, including maybe a car that was going a little bit quicker because it was nighttime, there was no traffic, so they didn't see it as a risk, and I could have got, run over myself. So they have to look at absolutely everything. Obviously, they would have potentially done a breath test, then a blood test on Ghetts, and then they won't be doing a breath test on the deceased, obviously, but there'll be toxicology reports, which are from blood, to see what was in the poor gentleman's system. So that's, some of it. That's part of the investigation. The story is still developing. Remember, it's alleged. People borrow other people's cars that are registered to them. You're not supposed to do that unless you've got, your insurance and all the other stuff, fully comp, can drive other cars under third party, blah, blah, blah. So, like I said, at the moment, it's alleged. Was it him that was driving the car? All of this will come out in an investigation. They've deemed it serious enough to keep him in custody. I don't know what he said in interview, whether he admitted it or he said no comment or whatever it is, but they've kept him in. Safety to himself, risk to others, potentially could go like run off and leave the country, etc. There's all sorts of reasons why they've refused bail, but it's a short remand because Monday, October the 27th, is back in magistrates again, and his solicitors, hopefully he's got better ones than Noel Clarke had, can put together a case to justify why he should be allowed bail until potential trial. Like I said, it's innocent till proven guilty, but the severity of the allegations cannot be underestimated. This is serious. So we're going to follow it closely as we do. I don't know what episode this is. Breaking down the facts without all the noise, exploring real world consequences and choices made in a single moment. We're going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. It's a nice short quick one for a Friday. I'm your host, Abs of October Red, and this is the Alternative Corner. I'm going to ask you to subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and obviously come back for more, because I believe, but believe it or not, that the truth matters. I try and provide a balanced point of view from both sides without being disrespectful to either of the parties involved. But I will say, really think about your consequences. You can sit there and say, yeah, I do things all the time, nothing happens to me, I'm nice. Don't watch that until it does happen to you. So seriously, think about the consequences of your actions. Use real life examples to kind of put you in your place, because every bad action has a consequence, So I'm going to leave it there. I don't know what I'm going to do about tomorrow when it comes to a watch along. I'm still undecided. A few of you have been in the comments and said no, but we'll see how I feel tomorrow, because the main event is good, and I do want to keep an eye on what Ezra Taylor's doing as well. But yeah, this video is proudly sponsored by SA UK, maximum security, minimum fuss. And as we say at October Red, stay ready.
Thank you for listening to The Alternative Corner. Most of our listeners have not yet subscribed. We kindly ask you for your support by subscribing to our channel and to share our content. October Red is sponsored by SA UK, maximum security, minimum fuss.